What you're about to witness is absolutely wild. The police chief's son walks into Judge Caprio's courtroom and actually threatens the judge, threatens him to his face in open court. The arrogance is off the charts. He thinks daddy's badge will protect him from everything. Then Judge Caprio does something so perfect, so brutally appropriate, that the kid ends up in an orange vest, cleaning streets with a trash picker. The downfall is spectacular. But before we dive into this insane case, quick question. Where are you watching from? United States? Australia? Canada? UK? Brazil? Drop it in the comments. And if you're new, smash subscribe because we bring you the most epic Judge Caprio moments where entitled people face reality. Trust me, this sentence is absolutely legendary. It's Monday morning in Providence. The courtroom is packed. Next case, Kyle Donovan. The charges? Assault during a bar fight, resisting arrest, and disorderly conduct. This isn't traffic court anymore. These are criminal charges. The doors open and in walks a kid who looks like he's never faced consequences in his life. Kyle Donovan, 24 years old, built like a linebacker, cocky smile, swagger in his step. He's wearing a tight shirt that shows off his muscles, like he's trying to intimidate everyone. And that expression on his face, pure arrogance. He approaches the podium like he's about to tell Judge Caprio a joke. Zero fear, zero respect, just confidence that borders on delusion. If you're already sensing this is going to be good, hit that like button because this kid has no idea what's coming. Judge Caprio looks up from the file. The charges are serious. Mr. Donovan, you're accused of starting a fight at McGinty's bar, punching two people, and then physically resisting the officers who tried to arrest you. One officer required medical treatment for injuries sustained during your arrest. How do you plead? Kyle actually laughs. Your Honor, this whole thing is blown way out of proportion. It was just a bar scuffle. Guys being guys. Some dude was talking trash. I defended myself. The cops overreacted. That's all. Judge Caprio's expression doesn't change, but you can see his jaw tighten. Mr. Donovan, according to the police report, you threw the first punch, unprovoked. Then when you were confronted, you punched a second person. When officers arrived, you shoved one to the ground and struck another. This isn't guys being guys. This is assault and battery. Kyle shrugs, completely unbothered. Your Honor, I think those officers are exaggerating. They always do. They want to make themselves look like heroes. My dad's told me all about it. Your dad? Judge Caprio leans forward slightly. Drop a comment right now because here it comes. The moment of pure entitlement. Kyle's smirk gets wider. Yeah, Your Honor. My dad is Chief Michael Donovan, Providence Police Chief. Maybe you know him? He runs the whole department. So I think I know a little bit about how cops work. They're making this sound worse than it was to justify their response. The courtroom goes quiet. The prosecutor looks up sharply. The clerk stops typing. Did this kid just dismiss the police report because his dad is the police chief? And worse, is he suggesting his father's position should influence this case? Judge Caprio's voice is very calm, very controlled. Mr. Donovan, are you suggesting that because your father is the police chief, this court should disregard the police report and the officer's testimony? Kyle leans on the podium casually. I'm just saying, Your Honor, my dad knows these guys. He knows how they operate. If you talk to him, he'll tell you this is all being blown out of proportion. He's got my back on this. Does he? Judge Caprio's tone is getting sharper. Has your father seen the evidence, the witness statements, the medical reports from the two people you assaulted and the officer you injured? Kyle waves his hand dismissively. He doesn't need to see all that. He knows me. He knows I'm not some criminal. This is just bad luck. Wrong place, wrong time. Tell me in the comments what country you're from, because I know you're all thinking the same thing about this kid. The prosecutor stands up. Your Honor, if I may, we have security footage from the bar showing Mr. Donovan clearly initiating the altercation. We have 3 witnesses who confirm he threw the first punch without provocation. And we have body camera footage from the officers showing Mr. Donovan's violent resistance. This isn't a he said, she said situation. The evidence is clear. Kyle turns to the prosecutor with a sneer. Lady, you don't know what you're talking about. Those videos can be interpreted different ways. And those witnesses, they were drunk. Their testimony doesn't mean anything. Judge Caprio stands up. This rarely happens. When he does, everyone knows something major is about to happen. Mr. Donovan, you need to understand something very clearly. You're in my courtroom facing serious criminal charges. Your attitude, your dismissal of the evidence, and your apparent belief that your father's position protects you, all of that is making your situation considerably worse. Kyle's smirk finally falters a bit, but then he doubles down. The worst decision of his life. Your Honor, with all due respect, I think you need to be careful here. My dad has a lot of influence in this city. He knows people, judges, lawyers, city officials. If this doesn't go my way, there could be complications. Share this video right now because Kyle just made the biggest mistake of his life. The entire courtroom erupts. People are gasping. The prosecutor looks shocked. The bailiff steps forward instinctively. Did Kyle Donovan just threaten Judge Caprio? In open court, is he actually trying to intimidate a judge using his father's position? Judge Caprio's face turns red. Not from embarrassment, from controlled fury. Mr. Donovan, did you just threaten this court? Kyle realizes he went too far, but his ego won't let him back down. I didn't threaten anyone, Your Honor. I'm just stating facts. My dad is a powerful man. That's not a threat. That's just reality. Counselor, Judge Caprio turns to Kyle's lawyer. Does your client understand that threatening a judge is a separate criminal offense? Kyle's lawyer, a public defender who looks like he wants to disappear, stands quickly. Your Honor, my client is young and speaking without thinking. He didn't mean to threaten the court. Kyle, stop talking right now. But Kyle can't help himself. Your Honor, look, I'm just saying we can work this out. My dad can make this go away quietly. Nobody needs to know about it. You dismiss the charges. I walk out. Everyone's happy. That's how these things work. Hit subscribe because what Judge Caprio says next is absolutely devastating. Judge Caprio sits back down, his voice ice cold. Mr. Donovan, let me explain something to you. I've been a judge in this city for over 30 years. I've seen thousands of defendants, rich, poor, connected, unknown. And I can tell you with absolute certainty that your father's position means nothing in this courtroom. Nothing. He picks up the file. You assaulted 2 people. You injured a police officer. You resisted arrest. And now you've attempted to intimidate this court. So here's what's going to happen. For assault and battery on 2 victims, I'm sentencing you to 90 days in county jail, suspended. You'll serve that time on probation instead, contingent on your behavior. Kyle starts to smile, thinking he's getting off easy. But Judge Caprio isn't done, not even close. Additionally, for resisting arrest and injuring a police officer, I'm sentencing you to 300 hours of community service, and I'm personally selecting where you'll serve those hours. You're going to work with the Providence Department of Public Works, specifically the street cleaning and sanitation crew. Kyle's face goes white. Street cleaning? Your Honor, you can't be serious. I am completely serious, Mr. Donovan. You're going to spend 300 hours picking up trash on the streets of Providence, cleaning gutters, emptying garbage cans, doing the work that people like you look down on. You'll wear the orange vest. You'll use the trash picker. And you'll learn some humility. The courtroom erupts in applause. People are actually cheering. Kyle looks devastated. Your Honor, I have a job. I can't be seen doing that. People will recognize me. Then they'll recognize the police chief's son who thought he was above the law. Judge Caprio's voice is sharp. Maybe that will teach you something about consequences. Your community service starts this weekend. 6 hours every Saturday and Sunday until your 300 hours are complete. That's 25 weeks. 6 months? Comment below if you think this is the perfect sentence for someone this arrogant. Kyle is shaking with rage and humiliation. Your Honor, my father will hear about this. You're going to regret this. And there it is again. Another threat. Judge Caprio's expression hardens. Mr. Donovan, that's your second threat against this court. I'm adding contempt of court to your charges. That's an additional $500 fine and an extra 50 hours of community service. You now have 350 hours total. Kyle's lawyer grabs his arm. Kyle, stop talking. Your Honor, please. He's just upset. He doesn't mean it. Counselor, control your client, or I'll hold you both in contempt. Judge Caprio's patience is gone. Mr. Donovan, one more word and I'll revoke your suspended jail sentence and you'll serve the full 90 days. Is that clear? Kyle finally shuts up. He's pale, shaking, all the arrogance drained away. Yes, Your Honor, he whispers. Good. Report to the Department of Public Works this Saturday at 6 a.m. Wear clothes you don't mind getting dirty. Court adjourned. The gavel comes down hard. As Kyle is escorted out, he's completely destroyed. The swagger is gone. The confidence is shattered. He looks like he might cry. People in the gallery are still talking excitedly. One man says, "About time someone put that punk in his place." That evening, Police Chief Michael Donovan calls Judge Caprio's office. Your Honor, this is Chief Donovan. I heard about my son's case today. I wanted to call and apologize for his behavior, for his threats, for invoking my name like it should protect him. Judge Caprio's voice is measured. Chief, I appreciate the call, but your son's behavior isn't your responsibility. He's an adult. With respect, Your Honor, it is partly my responsibility. I've been too soft on him. Every time he got in trouble growing up, I made it go away. I used my position to protect him from consequences. I created this monster. What you did today, that 350 hours of street cleaning, that's the first real consequence he's ever faced. Thank you. Tell me in the comments if you respect this father for owning his mistakes. 2 weeks later, Kyle starts his community service. The crew supervisor later tells Judge Caprio the story. He showed up that first Saturday, looking angry and humiliated. Wouldn't talk to anyone. Kept his head down. Did the minimum work required. But around week 4, something shifted. One of our regular guys, Carlos, he's been doing sanitation for 20 years. He started talking to Kyle. Told him about his life, his family, why he takes pride in keeping the city clean. Kyle actually started listening. By week 8, Kyle was arriving early, volunteering for the harder jobs. He stopped complaining, started joking with the crew. Carlos told me that Kyle apologized to him one day, said he'd always looked down on people who did this work. Now he realized how hard it was and how important it was. 4 months into his sentence, Kyle requests a meeting with Judge Caprio. He walks into chambers looking completely different, humbled, respectful. Your Honor, I came to apologize. The way I acted in your courtroom was disgraceful. The threats, the arrogance, thinking my dad's position made me untouchable. I was wrong about everything. He continues, and you can hear the sincerity in his voice. The community service changed me. I've been working with people who do honest, hard work every day for modest pay. They have more integrity in their little finger than I had in my whole body. I learned what real work looks like, what real character looks like, and I learned I had neither. Judge Caprio nods. Mr. Donovan, that takes courage to say, how much of your sentence do you have left? About 6 more weeks, Your Honor, but I've been thinking. After I finish my required hours, I'd like to keep volunteering. Not full-time, but maybe 1 Saturday a month. Carlos and the crew, they've become like family. I don't want to lose that. Share this if you believe people can change when faced with real consequences. Before we end this powerful story, here's the lesson. Using someone else's position or power doesn't make you powerful. It makes you weak. Kyle Donovan thought his father being police chief made him untouchable, but all it really did was prevent him from developing his own character, his own strength, his own integrity. Judge Caprio's sentence was perfect. Not jail time that would just make Kyle angry and bitter, but community service that forced him to work alongside people he'd always looked down on, to see their dignity, their work ethic, their character. And in seeing them, he finally saw himself clearly for the first time. The 350 hours weren't punishment. They were education. They were transformation. They were the opportunity Kyle needed to become a better man than the one who walked into that courtroom threatening a judge. Thank you for watching this incredible transformation story. Hit subscribe for more Judge Caprio moments that prove consequences can change lives. Share this with anyone who thinks their family name or connections put them above the law. And remember, real power comes from character, not from whose son or daughter you are. Kyle learned that lesson picking up trash on Providence streets. Hopefully, you won't need to learn it the same way. See you next time.